sorts. NFL Top 100. Baker Mayfield, Rockies won. They're catching up on the Dodgers.
Let's get to
I know
this.
I gotta say it.
Let's get to
this. Baker's the third QB revealed. He's ahead of Brock Purdy and Bryce. Here's how Brock did last year compared to Baker. Now, don't forget, Purdy only played 11 games because Mac Jones had to come to the rescue.
Wow.
No, Purdy played
had more turnovers? Wow.
Purdy played 9 games.
No, that's 11. It's including the playoffs, Brew.
Playoffs.
Yeah, Baker didn't.
Who's headed for the better season this year?
Look,
this fight.
Baker Mayfield with something to prove, with a chip on his shoulder, is tough.
Extensionless.
Yeah. He's in a contract year. He didn't come to terms with Tampa Bay. He's obviously, understandably upset about it and bothered, but being professional, gonna go out there and prove them wrong and maybe end up somewhere else, who knows. But the first 2 years in Tampa, when he was remember that epic battle with Kyle Trask?
Oh, yeah.
To see who was gonna start it.
Yeah, that was really.
I mean, he
when
had
the show was on the ropes. We didn't know we were gonna make it.
We're just talking about Kyle Trask every other day.
I mean, Trask.
You just
the reports out of Tampa were that Trask was looking good. All right, pushing Baker. All right, but anyway, he had 2 great first 2 years there were really good. But that said, so I expect Baker to have a really good year. But I am going to go with Brock Purdy because Brock last year, Nick, when he was healthy, was really good. Second in the league in touchdown percentage, and he's always high.
You love these percentages.
Well, TD percentage is big.
Who was first?
Stafford.
Okay.
And he was tied for second, I think, with Lamar.
Yeah, I was going to say Lamar. I knew Lamar was
Lamar's always
That's why
high.
I always hear about touchdown.
But you know that's a legitimate stat. You don't think percentage of your passes that go for touchdowns. How can that not be legit?
No, go ahead. It's just
passer rating. He was at 100 last year, Purdy. So look, I think Purdy is going to be more accurate. I think he's going to have a better passer rating and a better touchdown percentage. And he's going to get more wins than Baker.
Okay.
So I think Purdy is going to have a great year. Look, your boy, Mike Evans there. And even Christian Kirk. Like, I just think there's going to now be some stability in his receiving corps. Ricky Pearsall, I really like. We'll see if he's healthy. But I believe Kirk and Evans will be there healthy. Kittle, obviously, a nice security blanket and then some. So I think Purdy's going to have
Listen, what hurt Baker last year and what Purdy last year had the wherewithal that when he was injured, he sat out games. And when Baker was injured, he played through it. And so that hurt Baker's stats. It might also hurt the team. I'm not even saying it was smart, but it is.
I think it definitely did.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I don't know. I'm not even certain if Kyle Trask he might not be in the league anymore.
He's probably doing what we do.
Baker at 40% might be better than the backup, so I don't know. Here's what Purdy has going for him.
Oh, Jake Browning.
Okay, here's what Purdy has going for him. We know what the floor for the quarterbacks for the Niners, at least where it was last year, and because I don't even know if Purdy last year had the best season of 2 quarterbacks on the Niners.
Oh, now we're talking.
Win-loss passer rating.
Well, again, the passer rating, Brew, actually goes to Mac. The touchdown interception ratio goes to Mac. The yards per game goes to Mac. The completion percentage goes to Mac.
Did he win any big games like against the MVP Matthew Stafford?
The yards per pass barely goes to Purdy, and then obviously the win-loss record. He has 3 more wins, same number of losses.
Includes the playoffs, too.
But
Purdy was 7-2 in the regular season.
I'd like you to play your best in the playoffs. Personally, that's just me. And so there is certainly Baker has a lower floor than Purdy does. I think that's undeniable. But I think Baker's a better player than Brock Purdy. I think that Baker is asked to do more than Brock Purdy and has a harder job than Brock Purdy, and I think he'll have a better season.
So they should usually like the contract as a indicator of how much the team respects the quarterback.
Yeah.
And Purdy signed a pretty deal, and the Bucs are keeping their
Yeah, I don't love
pocketbooks.
that. I don't love that. But I also think I wouldn't have given the contract that they gave to Purdy, and I think had they waited a year, they wouldn't have given it to him. You know what I mean? Like last year, him being injured and not being great was not, and seeing what Mac Jones
is, all seriousness, Mac is I wouldn't say as high as Darnold could be, but I could see Mac resurrecting his career.
That's right. Yeah, Pro Bowl quarterback
Somewhere.
Matthew
Not
Stafford.
in the Niners, but somewhere.
3 days, 9 hours, and 59 seconds till we see Messi in action again, this time in Kansas City, taking on Switzerland on Fox. But are they on upset alert? Find out next in Tears.
Ooh.
You know, I hear Messi's looking at home sometimes.
Oh, wow. Who goes?
Is that true?
Welcome back to First Things First. Mbappe feeling confident. 1 day, 4 hours. Oh, in the belly. He's saying don't. Oh, and Elise, my sticker collection is going great.
I got to tell you something.
What?
You keep referencing the sticker stuff.
Yeah.
And
I need someone else
referenced it
to do
enough
it.
that I know you've told me about it.
Yeah.
But it must just be when I tune you out. Because every time you bring it up, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yesterday when you mentioned it, I was like, is that the thing Kevin Wildes has his own of?
No.
That's like a trading card?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, this is, if you got into this, you would lose your mind.
Well, you keep trying to get me
Just
into
get
it,
into
and
it.
then I
get into it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fresh off of a shirtless workout video on an exercise ball, LeBron still weighing his options with the Cavs, Heat, and Sixers as the reported top 3 destinations. 76ers president Bob Myers sat down with Max Kellerman and LeBron's agent Rich Paul on the Game Over podcast to make a pitch about Philadelphia. Okay, bro. 3 favorites. What do you think about Bob Myers, and what do you think? Cavs, Heat, Sixers.
It's a tough choice. I think all 3 of those teams would be legitimate contenders with LeBron. Giannis in Miami, I mean, the temptation to play with Giannis is great, right? I mean, can you imagine LeBron and Giannis together? Not to mention Bam, right? Adebayo. Yeah. But their lack of shooting is incredibly problematic. Like, what is the spacing going to look like with that team? I know they got Andrew Wiggins, Tim Hardaway Jr.
I still think that's the worst option.
And Davion Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell's improved his three-point shooting, but I agree. I just don't think they have enough shooting. Spacing would really be a problem. Philadelphia, look, if I could trust Joel Embiid, it would be a no-brainer. That would easily be your best chance to win.
Sure.
But not only do I not trust Embiid to be healthy, even this playoff run, he missed a bunch of, almost half the games, maybe half of the games in this run. And I just think it's really difficult to have a great player in and out of the lineup.
Yep.
Because with Embiid, we play one way. Without him, we play another way. And that's just tough to win at the highest level. And I also think, Nick, when you look at those 4 perimeter players, and I'm throwing LeBron in there, Maxey, Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, and LeBron, we know LeBron can adjust. He showed it in LA. But all of those dudes want a ball. Mm-hmm. Really score. Maxey's going to have the ball. Edgecombe is a young player trying to show he's a star so he can get that max contract. Jaylen has a ton to prove now. You know he's got a chip on his shoulder. And then you got LeBron in there. I just think that could be clunky. Even as LeBron can play the Swiss Army knife, he was doing it as a 3rd option in LA. Now, I can't even imagine him as a 4th. It just would be, yes, that's a great way to put it. So Cleveland, you look at Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, LeBron. That's nice. That team is a good team. They just don't have the mental toughness. LeBron obviously brings that. Harden is the clunky fit.
Yeah.
But look, in the playoffs, if LeBron were to go there, in the playoffs, LeBron's obviously got the ball at the end of the game. You don't worry about Harden struggles with it. He's now the 4th option. I'm not worried about him getting 8 points, all right? And then in the regular season, I think they kind of alternate handling the ball and stuff like that. Harden can play off the ball occasionally because he can shoot. And LeBron can be off the ball some. I don't even think LeBron wants to be the main ball handler for 40 minutes anymore, 35 minutes, whatever. So I am going to go with
Wow.
Cleveland. I'm so excited about him returning. Potentially, I think he's going to Bear. Wilds, you give it a try. It's gonna work because it's all about the land now.
Okay, again, this doesn't make any editorial sense. I also think he's going to go to Cleveland.
Yes, that's what
I'm rooting for him to go to Cleveland.
Yes.
I like Donovan Mitchell.
Yes.
So it's not about my belief or anything. So this should work.
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense.
And you broke it again.
Really,
You always,
I tried.
You always hit it.
it'll work for
But
you.
I don't know if they're my answer, but I just want to see if there's something wrong with the button.
It doesn't make sense.
It's you. It is you.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know why we're doing it.
So here's the thing.
I've grown to love it, though.
I think you are yada-yadaing, for lack of a better term, the Harden clunkiness a little more than I would.
That is as big of a deal as it would be.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And it also does feel, and maybe I am focusing a little too much on the LeBron to the fan, they tried to put me on the shelf. And LeBron to Steve Nash, pardon me, in the pod saying, I saw what role I needed to play, and I was good with it for now, I think he said, or for the time being. I just think him being in the same back or in the same perimeter players as Donovan Mitchell and James Harden presents a very similar situation as he could have stayed in Los Angeles, which is, let's just put Donovan Mitchell in the Luka position.
Okay.
Where, he's our...
He won't have the ball as much.
It won't have the ball as much, but he's the team's best player and going to be number one scorer. You also are asking me to adjust my game more than a guy who I am better than, Austin Reeves or James Harden, because they can only play one way, and I'm now having to do this kind of weird thing, which is why I do think, I think from a storybook perspective, Cleveland makes way more sense than Philly. If Philly's an option, then Minnesota's an option. Then Denver's an option. Then, a bunch of places.
They're in the West. That's probably
sure. That could be a big reason why, to be fair. It's also why, if I'm Cleveland, I am really annoying Masai Ujiri on let's really what do we have to attach to a James Harden sign and trade to get Kyrie Irving? Can we just?
No, I'm very interested.
Can we?
I'm very interested in that.
We can make it to where the contract, James is happy with the contract, but it also won't be onerous to you guys. Your window is not this moment anyway. What type of things can we make you? How can we flip out Harden for Kyrie? Because that, I think, would get them LeBron.
Let's unpack that.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's the win for Dallas there?
The picks that
just
a bunch of picks.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Which won't be great.
No,
they'll be lower first round.
Yeah, of course. But or maybe far enough down the road that they think they could be great. You know what I mean? If we're talking about picks for obviously post LeBron, and then the lottery system's different.
But I want to go a different route in unpacking that. To me, I don't think Donovan, LeBron, Harden. LeBron is going to be the second guy. It's not going to be like it was with the Lakers where it was Luka, Austin, LeBron. I think Harden clearly just becomes the third guy of that trio, and he gets in where he fits in. And then if you were to bring Kyrie, now obviously he and LeBron have a great relationship, a great history and all that, but that's still three guys, and I think Kyrie at this point is better than Harden. So does LeBron still be in that third role?
But I just think he would be more willing to accept that role with Kyrie, and with Kyrie's again, it's been a while since we've seen in it, but his postseason history is so different than Harden's. That we know the fit's great, and I think the one thing Cleveland, whether it's Harden or Kyrie, that's not going to be a good defensive team. You have Donovan and whether it's Harden or Kyrie are bad defensive guards. You have rim protection, but you're still not going to be able to stop guys at point of attack. So the solve for that is, what if we are just an A-plus offense? And I think Kyrie helps that more than Donovan, because I think that, more than Harden, because I think Harden's best asset offensively at this point is the playmaking. LeBron can do that. You know what I mean? Like, when LeBron's on the ball and Donovan and Kyrie are not spotting up, so to speak, but, out on the wings, you got the big, that just works.
I like that.
So if they can't move Harden, which I agree, whether it's for Kyrie or somebody, I would try to move him.
I think Cleveland's the most likely. It's just not as quite as seamless as I would like. I don't, Brew, you want to hit it one more time?
You go for it.
Cleveland! Come on, man. Come on.
Guys.
Come on. Look, I think it's going to work.
And Holland steal the golden boot. That's next. We're counting down to Norway, England. On Fox
I don't get
in
it.
Miami.
I just don't get why it doesn't work for Wives. Man.
I don't understand why it works for the show. Welcome back to First Things First. Argentina, Switzerland on Fox in Kansas City in 3 days. Arthur Bryant and some of the other.
I'm a little worried about Argentina after this game.
After this, you think they're going to?
Well, they're going to beat Switzerland, and then I think they're going to be so sad about they've spent so much time in Kansas City that this is their final game there.
Oh, yeah.
They know they're about to have to leave.
Maybe they can get a nice little spot.
There's only, a couple nonstop flights a day, Kansas City to Buenos Aires, so it's hard to get back.
Is there a nonstop flight from Kansas City to Buenos Aires?
About that.
That would be remarkable. Genuinely remarkable.
With a goal yesterday, Messi extends his lead in the Golden Boot race. 8 so far. Mbappe and Haaland have 7. Harry Kane has 6, but they've all been quality. Dembele, Oyarzabal, and Jude have 4 apiece. We'll start with you, Dax. Who do you think wins it? And bonus question. Oh, no, I'll wait for the bonus question once we go around. The bonus question's interesting. Okay.
Mr. World Cup knockout round himself, Kylian Mbappe.
Ooh.
I have France winning the whole tournament, meaning I have France playing more games than Argentina. I have France playing more games than Norway. So I think the biggest challenger to that title, if my bracket is to hold true, would actually be Harry Kane.
Because he has France,
basically
England
doing
final.
your
So
predictions.
if I'm basing it off that, which I am, I do believe Mbappe is going to win it. And this might sound contradictory, but I do believe having other world-class attacking players around you opens up space for you.
Classic.
And if
2 great
Mbappe,
wide receivers theory.
Yeah, and I think it absolutely is pertinent for this French national team now, because I believe Mbappe can score goals in a myriad of different ways. And he isn't the physical profile that Harry Kane and Erling Haaland are. He isn't the, let's call it, maybe all-round special player that Lionel Messi is, but he is an out-and-out goal scorer. And this is where he has, I think,
This was
adapted
not the most
in his
impressive
career.
one.
No.
No. And if you're going to give him
That's
layups,
a free one.
yeah, if you're going to give him layups, then he's
This
obviously
one was
going to take them. But he can score a goal in so many different ways. And why I believe that he's going to win the Golden Boot, because France is going to win the tournament. He can do things like that 1v1 that other players simply can't. Haaland doesn't score goals like that. Kane doesn't really score goals like that. Messi, at times, he still likes to go 1v1 and score goals like that, but a lot of the other players are relying on service and relying on teammates opening up space for them. I think Mbappe is the favorite to win it.
I hope you're right, because I really like Mbappe. I want him to get it. He's obviously going to end up, well, barring injury and stuff, being the World Cup all-time leading goal scorer. But I'm going to go with Messi, because they have the easier path. Like Mbappe, they got to play Spain.
Yeah.
And how many goals are they going to score in that game, win or lose?
Sure.
Messi, I just think has the easier path, and so I do think he'll end up winning it.
I think Messi locks it up this weekend.
Oh, multi.
I think Messi scores 2 this weekend. Haaland is knocked out of the tournament this weekend, so
I think we agree on that.
so he's gone. I don't think Kane is gonna score 5 more this tournament.
Sure.
The tiebreaker is assists. Messi is in good position on that front, and I think Hakimi and Morocco's not their entire focus, but a focus of trying to slow down Mbappe. We talked about Spain, which hasn't allowed a goal. Meanwhile, Messi gets Switzerland, again, credit to Switzerland, but I think he could get 2 this weekend and 10 just wins it. Like that even if he doesn't make the final, Mbappe can't get to 11 because Messi's going to be ahead of him
in assists.
I think it's not guaranteed, but probably. I also can we show the Golden Boot graphics I have? One is you show whichever one you want first, Us. I don't really care. So again, this is the last 6 Golden Boot winners. The fact that 8 has been good enough to win at every World Cup this century. And a guy already has 8. Yeah. It's just like somebody could get 8 and not finish podium in this World Cup for Golden Boot.
Yeah.
And then
more games.
One more. Yes.
Extra game. I agree, Brew. The extra game definitely plays a part.
But not yet. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like the extra game has not impacted it yet. Sure. And here's the all-time race. I mean, again, Just Fontaine has a sizable lead, and I understand this is, again, an extra game. This is where this would impact it. But that's on the board here.
Oh, that he breaks the record.
That he ties the record.
In one World Cup.
I don't think he can get. I don't think he can get 6 more goals. He's got 3 games left maximum.
Well, looking at this graphic, the fact that you have 3 players that have gotten to double-digit goals in a World Cup, and you have arguably 3 or 4 in one World Cup that could realistically get there, is still a stunning display of quality.
Well, here's the other thing. It has been 60 years since someone scored more than 8 goals in a World Cup. 60 years.
Yeah.
Like I would, and I'm excited about the more goal scoring. Like I love it, and I'm not trying to poo-poo what the guys are doing. It's been great, but not only do you have an extra game, that extra game is against teams that might not even have been in the World Cup.
Yes.
And if it was still at 32 teams.
No, that's definitely.
You heard it here. Brew hates Cape Verde.
No.
He hates Cape Verde.
They've been great.
That's a fair.
You know what I mean?
But also,
I still love it.
But also, those records are from when. If you look in a lot of these World Cup games were like 6-4. Like the game has played soccer in the 60s was not that dissimilar from basketball in the 60s. Like we're going up and down. We're scoring.
By the way, you could pass it back to the goalkeeper. He could pick it up.
Yeah.
Right? And he just booted it up the field.
Go, KW.
Bonus question. It's best for soccer worldwide who wins the Golden Boot?
Messi.
Messi just adds.
Absolutely. Yeah. The story that he is writing at his age right now is incredible, unfathomable, unthinkable. Pick any adjective you want. It's truly historic, genuinely.
Let me ask you, can I throw in something quick? Now, he's not in the running, but had Yamal been having like a great tournament,
that would have been
he was
great.
in the
That
running.
would have been fast.
Would that have been better if he would have?
I think so. I think so. He's kind of the guy. It's like, guess what? Guess who's taking the mantle from Messi?
By the way,
with 1 goal.
Well, yeah, he's not.
Kane is 2 goals away from tying Klose at 16. Remember, Klose was the all-time leader going into this tournament and was the all-time leader for a long time. Harry Kane could end this tournament with more career World Cup goals than Klose and be 3rd all-time. This is the biggest loser of this tournament, Miroslav Klose. You're going to lose in a podium spot.
Poor guy.
But he was still up there. It's like when Sammy Sosa's like, by the way, I hit over 61 home runs several times. No one talks about it.